here. You can't see where the paint is. You see what I mean? If you find a painting, I love this. I've been working with this thing for 20 years. And I finally got to the point I can just go out without this, mix my own colors, and it comes out real close to these kind of values and these kind of colors. Because, I mean, after a while it just becomes kind of second nature. You wouldn't think that a cloud would be this dark, would you? Isn't that amazing how dark that is? Can you see it against that white? But that cloud is that dark. In fact, this is a little bit lighter. You see that? So it isn't how light and dark it is, it's how married and how related they are to each other, and how dark you start. You never had to come up to the white to make a cloud, and to make it look like this is an early morning scene, and these people are walking out to get some clams or something, and I think it's called oyster gathers, and it looks like it's about 8 o'clock in the morning, and the sun's way over here, and you can see the little yellow, and this is purple. Almost purple. This is more of a brown. This here, if you put it over here, it is a dark spot. But you can't see that. I mean, you wouldn't notice unless you worked with it and said, wow, I wouldn't have done that myself. But he did. He just, I call it pushing it. This is actually pretty close, to this. This here is a big light spot. The variations are subtle, but they work real well. As clouds are higher, the shadow is darker. As they go down, they get warmer, and there's less contrast. It's just kind of not much light or shadow, just kind of mediocre and warmer. So getting a photograph of something a painting that you think is a masterpiece, and laminating it and trying to match those colors, mix up a bunch of colors like I just did that match that, and take it out in the field and use it in your own composition. You'll find that, and of course it's never going to be perfectly like that, but it'll be a totally different composition like I've got here. But the things you're going to learn, the advantage you're going to have is that you've got an expert, and you've got his opinion on the color, and you've got it on your palette, and you can use it. That's just this is the only way I can take lessons from John Singer Sargent, because he died a few days ago. And so this is how I do it. The same thing with T.C. Steele. I've actually copied his paintings. And the last one I copied, I sold it. First hour is up. And then the person wanted something else. Later they wanted to trade me back that painting. They were really disappointed in it. And it is, on the way back from Bloomington, I dropped it in Salt Creek there. That's a bridge, that painting. Isn't that funny? Nobody's laughing. Yeah, I don't keep copies that I do of Steele or someone like this, unless I sign it, their name and my name afterwards. But here we go. Do you have any questions so far? Anyone with a question?
Is it a canvas?
This is a canvas. This is linen with rabbit skin glue to size it. Okay, I'm just going to hurry to get this in. The darker blues are always in the top. And I've got this already boy, that looks too dark to be a sky to me.
No, it's pretty good.
But that's what he's got here, as you can see. And this is the lighter side over here. Not sure you can see it. There you go. I believe that's right there. To me, that was just amazing when I first, I thought, you know, I'm going to copy this. And the colors were absolutely way off. I'll try to get a good wash in here so you can see. Actually, it's a little thicker and heavier than I planned, but we'll see how it works out.
What kind of medium did you use?
This has got a little more oil in it because I didn't want to suffocate you all, but it's Damar crystals mainly. I mix it myself. I just put it in turpentine and make it that way.
How do you make it blue?
Huh?
How do you make it blue? Blue.
Orange and blue. Oh, I'm sorry.
What kind of blue?
My palette, a palette, you all know as artists, a palette is about as personal as a husband and a wife.
Yes.
It either works or it don't. For you, it's personal. My palette is very simple. It's just a white and a cad yellow light, cad yellow heavy, orange, alizarin, French blue, and Prussian blue, and a little bit of phthalo green.
Okay.
I can get anything that I see. I can copy any color that I see with a combination of those things. And so that's all I need. All the colors. So I don't use anything. This is just, I'm not pushing this on anybody. Everybody has their own preference. I just don't use anything like browns or pre-mixed greens because I want them to be interesting, and they don't seem to be. I can't make them interesting. Let's see, where am I at? Yep. Yep. The hard part, now we get a little bit, as you go down this way, it gets lighter and warmer. So you use the same blue, but it's going to be mixed with this one over here to get this. And you can see how much lighter that spot is?
Mm-hmm.
You don't notice it if you're up close. I mean, just separated, but the sky just gets lighter as it goes down. Let's see. Got an opposite here. Make sure I got this right. Okay. Okay. Now the blue part's the easy part. Getting the clouds in there and actually making them look like they're three-dimensional. They're not a brick that's going to hit you in the head. And they're not just a little fake-you-out pillow. But they're kind of like a pillow. They've got a bottom and they've got maybe two sides that you'll see. They're 3D. And they actually have a form. And that's easy to overlook. Let's see. Okay. I think we got the blue in now. Okay. I'm using that same color with a little more yellow or orange and white, just because they get lighter, clouds get lighter as they go up, unless it's the shaded part of them. Please feel free to ask questions if you have them.
Hey Lyle, what did you draw on your canvas with the black markers?
Oh, that's just a black magic marker.
Oh, is it meant like a, okay,
Yeah. It'll come off with alcohol.
like a Sharpie?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it covers well, the oil paint. It doesn't bother anything. I'm a lot more precise than this whenever I'm painting at home, but this will work. Okay.
Doing a great job, Lyle.
Let's see. You can see this is getting light. Can you see? Look at it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's getting lighter as you go up. Let's see.
What kind of brush are you using?
This is the number 4, United. It's a flat that's got long,
Is it synthetic?
yes, long bristles. They grab the paint, you get 3 or 4 colors, and you make little ribbons of all kinds of juicy looking stuff if you want with them. I just absolutely love them. Okay. This is paint by number. I got it all drawn on here, and the numbers.
What number is that?
Just joking.
Do you normally work this quick in the studio?
No, I really don't. But I don't. If I'm a little keyed up, it's because of the time element.
Sure. I was just curious. Thank you.
So
Yeah.
Lyle, when you change colors, do you wipe your brush off or you just pick up the color?
No, it's all. They're all married. It's just
All right.
you know, one shade of the same thing, another shade of the same thing. I didn't mean that to sound crazy, but.
So when you say you're warming up your grays there, you're just adding a little bit of cad yellow light?
I use a cad yellow, usually medium, and cad yellow pale, and some orange. And it just depends on what you want. Here's the color that he's got right here, pretty close to it, and I'm putting it over here like him, but it's got way too much yellow in it for me. I'm going to tone it down a little bit. It's pretty close. You can't see where I put it, you see? Even in this light. So, too much.
What did you use to tone down?
Huh?
What did you use to tone down the yellow? To make it not so yellow,
Just put the opposite color in it.
okay?
That's all. Okay, let's see. I got most of the shadows in. We'll work it up from there. Oh, hang on. What am I doing here? Okay. Right now, I'm not inspired. All I'm doing is filling it in, the basics. And I do this at home when I do a painting like this, because I'm not a sky painter. I'm not somebody who just, I'm not an abstractor. I cannot seem to get it myself. I've seen a lot of good work from friends here that are much better at abstracting things than myself. But I try.
So you've been painting how long?
The painting in Indiana was back around 2000. I was painting some before then. I knew Dan Woodson. We painted together before then once in a while. So I guess 30 years, probably.
Were you in an art career of any kind prior to painting, or?
No, I was unknown until Dan found me and pushed me out there. I'm indebted to him too for that, because I never would have done it without somebody behind me shoving me. I didn't even want to do the painting in Indiana after a while. It was so much work. We were traveling all over the state, and I went to one county, Perry County, 3 different times. And I remember one time I just got out of the car. I think it was my second trip down there. And got right to the river I wanted to paint, and here came a blanket of just rain. Just, you didn't look like it was rain, but it was down there. And it just came right up the river. By the time I got in my car, it was pouring. And I drove all the way home without painting. We had that happen I don't know how many times. But it was a good experience. And a lot of you folks that are here tonight, you know what I'm talking about because you've done it yourself now. Painting in Indiana has taken off. It's got a life of its own. Some of this I'm just improvising because a painting doesn't have to be exactly what you're seeing, and of course you know that. But the more related these colors are to each other, the more orange you have in your blue, and the more blue you've got in your orange, the better everything is going to be. So you're not just polar opposites and just fighting each other. It's kind of like a marriage. And I'm giving up some accuracy here, really giving up some accuracy because the light. I'm doing the best I can. I hope you can. Hope it's starting to look like something, at least here. Okay. I'm finding that I should have had more paint mixed up. I'm gonna have to work at this a little more. I'm not going to take this all the way down to the picture that's in here. I'm just going to, as you can see, there's trees and so on coming down to Lake Michigan here. But I'm going to work over here a little bit and kind of sew this up.
Which glue did you use, Lyle?
What's that?
Which glue are you using? You have two glues in it.
Ultramarine, I use very little of it. I use a lot of Prussian blue. It has a Prussian blue just seems to work better with other colors. I think ultramarine it's in the kind of in the red spectrum almost. So I'm using mostly ultramarine. I mean Prussian. Excuse me. It's got almost a green. This is more of a powder blue. And the way he got some of this, he let it dry in, and then to take care of the edges the way he wanted. You can see some of this is kind of muted. It's not real strong blue. He rubbed some of this over some of this while it was tacky or else dry. Probably did it with his thumb or a brush. And so when you get up close to it, you can see that it kind of gives it I can't tell what I'm looking at exactly. It's kind of like two colors right next to each other, and they vibrate. You get the feeling like it's, showing light. That's how we perceive light. Okay. Now down here, I'm going to put a real light blue, and I'm ignoring my little marks down there. I'm just going to improvise here. A little lighter than what there are other places. And as you go down, the layers, the clouds are in layers, as you can see here. And this looks very typical of a summer morning. The clouds down here will almost always be unbroken all the way across. A little less unbroken, a little less unbroken. I mean, a little more broken when they get up here. A lot of space between. But looking at this little space right here is probably as large as this space right here, if you were closer to it. It's just the clouds are layered, one layer over another coming toward you, and they're closer and smaller and tighter as you go down. We forget that sometimes in painting. I know I do. Let's see. Okay. Okay. The light source is over here, coming this direction. So the clouds are going to have a three-dimensional, you're going to see some of the top if they're that way. The lightest lights are going to be on that side or coming like this, and then the darkest darks are going to be on this side because it's quartering in like this toward you so that things are backlit, but you can still see where the highlights are real strong. I'm going to run out of white before I get done here, I do believe. Okay, what have I got here? Let's see.
Lyle, I know this is a cloud demonstration, but if you were painting that painting, would you do the sky first?
No.
What would the order of it be?
Good question, Steve.
I think
Would you skip around to establish values so that it would make sense, or?
unless I've got it really well planned like this thing here, if I were going to, I intend to finish this, I hope you can see it in the show sometime. And I may wind up taking this off and redoing it, I don't know. But I would just, if I'm going to finish this one, I will match the color that this guy has got on this stand in this particular painting. Now, call it cheating if you want, that's all right. It's still, it helps you be successful to borrow the limitation that, the boldness or the limitations that an artist uses. And it works. It just works beautifully, the values and things he has there. I love all of this, you have a little bit of red like that. Isn't that incredible? A reddish orange, which is the opposite of almost the bluish green there. Oh, that's actually a powder blue. That's a real good color composition. And the values are real strong. I'm always afraid to go that far, to go that, dark and so on. And I wind up kind of with a mediocre result. But copying somebody else's values and colors and then taking them and working on your own composition. I like to do that with T.C. Steele's big cloud picture right there. That thing is just absolutely beautiful on an evening scene sometimes. So I would just try to keep those same values for the sand on this beach. And just, unless I'm standing there painting on location, and then that just kind of, the guys, you all that paint, you know what happens. You just kind of get in it, and it does it on its own. You just wind up with what you can do. Am I making sense?
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. We're gonna wind this up pretty soon, I think. Okay. Painting in a real good light, like outdoors, will help you do what I can't do right here. I can't really see. It's good about it, not mean to complain at all.